So also throughout this session you want to stay well centered in the knowledge of arising and passing. Every word that I say continuously is arising, passing. Sentence is arising, passing. Your response to the sentence, your understanding of what I say is arising and passing. Feelings in the body constantly arising and passing. So the topic of today's session is how to overcome anxiety. This is a very popular topic. Anxiety is something that's very popular with people, has always been so. That's not a modern day phenomenon really, but people have always been anxious since old times. We're worried about the future, worried about the past. What might I have done better? What might happen to me? Where will I be? What will I be? And all these kind of thoughts, they create anxiety. Anxiety is coming out of fear. It's something that arises from fear. It's kind of an arm or a branch of fear. And it makes us giddy and nervous and feeling really unpleasant in the present moment. We might have anxiety when we need to talk publicly in front of other people. We might have anxiety when we are about to embark on a new project, doing something new in our life, when we have to make an important decision, then usually anxiety arises. Doesn't allow us to sleep properly, makes us feel uncomfortable around other people, makes us feel uncomfortable when we're alone with ourselves. So this anxiety is coming from the habit of thinking negatively. So we are anticipating a negative future, a negative outcome that makes us feel worried. This is basically what anxiety is. So we're anticipating something that is negative, that is about to happen to me in the future. So how to deal with this? How to overcome this? Like with every kind of delusion that arises in the mind, with every kind of fog that prevents clear seeing, it is important to train ourselves to become more mindful throughout our daily life. If anxiety is a big problem for you, if that is a very frequent visitor in your being, continuously arises very often, then it might be a very good idea to also sit down and practice at home. It's a little bit like practicing boxing with a sandbag. Before you step into a ring and you fight with someone else, you kind of want to refine your technique before you get out there. You can do the same with your habitual tendencies. Let's say you're very nervous or anxious, usually, and you can imagine, for example, a kind of scenario that would make you anxious, and then visualize yourself or train yourself to become mindful just when the anxiety begins, when you notice a habitual way of thinking, for example. Oh my God, this is going downhill, I see where this is going, this doesn't definitely look good, what can I do, how do I get out of here? These kind of thoughts, they arise. So now it's important that we train mindfulness so that it steps in right there as a habit, as another type of habit. In the beginning, that will be really difficult. In the beginning, your mindfulness will come after the anxiety attack, after the panic attack. But that's already the first step. It's already great. It's already a sign of progress. You're freaking out, you're totally anxious. And then the anxiety settles, you come back to your senses, and suddenly you notice, oh, I wasn't mindful. So that's how it starts. Mindfulness is still untrained, so therefore it is still slow. So you need to train to make it faster. Every time you notice, okay, there was anxiety. Now, the next time anxiety arises, I want to catch it earlier. That is an intent that we need to build. You need to feel that you want to catch your anxiety earlier. You probably want to catch it earlier because it's just so unpleasant. So next time you catch it earlier, then it's first kind of, you get more successful at your practice. And all that comes from a good interplay between your practice back at home, in your safe zone, imagining you becoming aware when anxiety kicks in popular situations in your life, and then actually when these situations happen. So it's sort of a dry training and the real training. They need to go hand in hand. They need to come together. That requires your wish, your intent to get out of this anxiety habit. If you don't have a wish to get out of this, you won't do anything anyways. Most people, they wish to get out of their anxiety, they wish to get out of their problems, but it's not like really wishing it. It's like kind of, it would be nice if I would be a bit less anxious, but you know, the habits are much stronger than the wish to get out of the habit. Some people need to come into a whole huge truckload of trouble before they actually have a strong enough wish to get out of their troublemaking habits. For most people like this, most people need to get severely ill before they think about how to create more health in my life. I should exercise more, I should meditate more. Most people think like this when problems are stacking up, when they are not really feeling happy. Then meditation becomes a more urgent thing for them. There's a greater wish to cultivate health, fitness, whatever, go to the gym, eat more green smoothies, like this. So for many people, it has to come to a point with their anxiety where they feel really trapped, stuck. It's really uncomfortable. I need to get out of this. I need to do something now. Then they really start picking up that training. Now you will then catch it in an intermediate situation. You realize that you are in a train that is about to crash into a wall. As you realize it, you can pull the brakes before you crash into the wall, and you have to clean up the mess afterwards. So you can pull the brake. Now, depending on how early you realize, the train needs a while to stop. Right? It's going full speed. The wall's right up ahead. Suddenly you realize, oh my God, I'm right in it right now. I'm totally anxious right now. This is it. That's the moment I've been training for. And you pull the brake. I will come to that later, how to pull the brake. But for now, the mindfulness is the first kind of thing that comes in, the first factor that kicks in. In every spiritual training has to be wakefulness, mindfulness. So here it might kick in a little bit late, so the train still crashes into the wall, but maybe a bit slower. There's not that much of a mess afterwards to clean up. Now, depending upon how early you can catch each time, the better. The most ideal thing is you're standing on the platform. The train is coming in, the anxiety train, and it stops right in front of you, and the doors open. Next stop, anxiety. Please all aboard. And you're like, wait a second. I won't board that train. I know where it leads. So this is the result of consistent, mindful training. You are looking at your habits more and more. You understand Well, this one will lead there. So why would I jump on it again and again and again and go through the same problems again and again and again? Yes, exactly. It's a good question. Why would I do this always again and again? Answer is simple. No mindfulness. Most of us kind of even don't realize after the mess has been made. We still don't realize that the problem is inside of ourselves. It's not outside. So here, this is the first step. Train your mindfulness so it kicks in as early as possible. Even best you don't board the train. But if you have boarded it, and once it leaves the platform, when you realize, good, just pull the brake, get out of it. Easy to pull the brake because it's not full speed yet. But once it's full speed, it takes a good while to stop. You pull the brake and the train is heavy. It takes a long time to stop. Similarly, when our anxiety is full speed and you pull the brake, it will take a long time to stop. Like let's say your breath goes heavy and you sit in your room, oh my God, this is going to be, this is bad, this is really bad, and you're in this full speed, and suddenly you realize, oh, there it is, this is the anxiety, and now you pull the brake, you become mindful, and you stop nourishing the anxiety. You take away all its food. Now, what is the food of anxiety? Because if we know what is its food, we can know how to pull the brake. If we know what is its cause, right? What is causing it? What's the engine? Maybe to stay with the train example. What's the engine of it? What's the fuel of it? Because if there is no fuel in the train, it won't even come to the platform. It won't even start at all. That means there's no more fuel. That's the best. That's the end of practice concerning anxiety. The fuel of that train has run out. It doesn't go anymore. It rots in the train station. That's best. It's one less anxious person in this world. One less fearful person in this world. It's a bit less trouble in this world. Overall thing, right? It's a bit less trouble. But now in our case, in our scenario, our anxiety is ready, it comes in, we hop onto the train, we crash into the wall all the time over and over again. That's more like it in our case. So how do we actually now pull the brake? You pull the brake by feeling the anxiety in your body. You become mindful, then you will feel the anxiety and you will feel it in your body, right? When you feel anxious, you feel it in your body. Where do you feel it? In your pinky finger? In your elbows? Where do you feel anxious? In your hair? In your lips? Where? Yeah, stomach. For many people, heart, stomach, solar plexus. So it's mostly around the upper body. Yeah. Some people in the throat, it's different. This is different for all of us, but there is some kind of general location where you feel this burning sensation of anxiety. Just the energy of it. Now then you will notice also that the energy is kind of coming up and pushing itself up because there are thoughts that are pushing the energy up. Particular thoughts. And that goes very fast. Thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling. And it is so dependent like wood and fire. You have a fire that burns, you can't separate the wood from the flames. But if you take the wood away, the flames will stop also. So if we take away the nourishment of the fire, fire will stop. But as the fire burns, the wood and the fire they are one. Similarly with thinking and feeling. It is in the case of heavy emotions, it is almost inseparable for us. So it takes a while, and it takes quite acute mindfulness to really feel into that, and to abandon for a little while the storyline of your anxiety, to leave that aside for a little while. You know, it's there, okay, but now what's important is the feeling. I want to just get in touch with how this anxiety actually feels in the body. So the way it looks like in your life, there's the situation, someone looks at you the wrong way, insecurity arises, the thought comes right afterwards, why is he looking like that? Something wrong with me? Did I say something wrong? Oh yeah, I might have said something wrong. And the feeling grows. The feeling of insecurity, of unhappiness grows. You become more tense. Your whole being is contracting into itself. It's not expansive anymore, not spacious. So in this moment when the mindfulness kicks in, you pull the brake, you bring in spaciousness. You allow yourself to feel it fully. But you do not nourish it. You do not feed it. Allowing your anxiety to be there should not make it stronger. If it makes the anxiety stronger, you're feeding it. You're looking at the anxiety with anxiety. Anxiety is looking at itself, and there's this kind of secret agenda. It's like, oh my God, I hope it goes away soon. But of course it doesn't, because it's anxiety itself that looks. So we have to learn to look with pure mindfulness directly at anxiety. And you can do that if you learn to get in touch with your body. Most people are not in touch with their body at all. They can't really feel their presence most of the time. We're so much up in the head most of the time throughout our day. Up in only thinking about life all the time. Thinking our life story. Thinking it through. What will happen? What did happen? Will it work out? And so forth. So we hardly ever actually feel that, wow, I'm sitting right now. Or I'm walking. Walking feels like this. Lying down, it feels like this. Or getting a massage feels like this. You're in Thailand. It's a beautiful country for massage. You get a good massage. This is practice. You lie down on the massage table and you follow the hand of the therapist. You don't think about what to do next. You don't go through the problems of your life. You fully get the massage. And you'll see how difficult that is. It's not easy at all. To stay fully present throughout the entire massage takes a lot of practice. So we practice like this, always bringing in more and more presence, more and more wakefulness into your everyday life, into everyday activities. Particularly by feeling the body, getting in touch with your body. It's easy, everyone can do it. You can feel your body right now as you're listening to this. You might sit somewhere and just feel the body. Walk through a central festival or another shopping mall, you feel the body. Your mind is not shopping. It's in the body, it just walks. It's just the experience of walking. It's very peaceful, it's very nice. This is how we train. Then you recognize the fire of anxiety. You have no more storyline. What happens with the anxiety? It immediately dies down. That what feeds the fire is not there. Thinking is not there. What feeds our anxiety is future-oriented thinking, and that can be quite subtle. It doesn't necessarily have to be words in your head or images. It can be just a general kind of pull towards the future. This expecting that it will not be good, but not as a story necessarily. It's just a gut feeling somehow. Oh, this will not be good, you know. It's important not to get rid of your anxiety, to chase it out, to suppress it, or to express it. It's important to know it. Some people, when they hear such teachings, they think, oh, so am I supposed to get rid of my anxiety? But I need my anxiety sometimes. It's helpful in life and so forth. Sometimes it protects me from making the wrong decisions and all that. Yes, but it's not about getting rid of it. It's about knowing it. Knowing yourself directly in every circumstance. That's the training of mindfulness. We are not here to bully ourselves. Oh, this has to get rid, I need to throw this one out and that one too, and that's not nice about myself too. This is like a bully, you're not here present with yourself in a kind way. This is spiritual bullying. So we're not here to get rid of mindfulness, to kick it out, to kill it. We are here to see it, to understand it. If any person comes to you, and you are there with that person, wishing to understand that person, you fully open up to that person. That person comes and talks to you, you fully listen. You don't think about what you want to say next. You're fully listening. This is incredibly healing for the other person. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants to be listened to. And your anxiety is no exception. It also comes to you and it says, hey, I'm freaking out. And it doesn't need your advice. Oh yeah, but you shouldn't freak out because you should be holy and spiritual. No, it doesn't need that kind of advice. You should get out. Anxiety? No, I don't need anxiety. I should always be happy and healthy and free from anxiety. No, also not. You're here to welcome, embrace, and accept yourself in full honesty. There is no agenda, no plans, no needs, no pushing, no pulling. But you're here as a witness, a listener. Kind, warm, open. This has to be trained, particularly our society where we are raised to constantly manipulate ourselves. We're raised on the base of the feeling that you are not good enough the way you are. You need to be improved. Your being is not enough. You must do so you can be loved. You must become something so you can be worthwhile. You must have many things. Then but a human being in itself, the being in itself, is enough to love, to appreciate, to accept. It's a great blessing if you are with people and you don't want anything from them. You love them as they are. It's very healing for them also. You can have criminals come to you and they calm down in your surrounding because you don't see a criminal. You see a human being in front of you. This is very refreshing. It feels touching to the point. I can tell you a little story. Actually, this is quite popular with great spiritual masters, that when they are with you, you feel like you are treated by them as if you were the only person in the world. They are so fully present with you. Many people cry when they are with such a person together. It happened to me many, many times. It still happens to me when I think about my teacher. Frequently I sit and think about my teacher and I cry. Because the feeling that comes from such a person is absolutely unconditional acceptance of you. Here is someone that does not feel that you need to be different. Is wonderful. This is really healing. And so I encourage you, practice that with your own feelings. Accept them unconditionally. Don't bring your work-life attitude into your heart. Say, my heart has to be worked upon. It's not good enough yet. There's too much thinking there. There's anxiety. What's that about? Shouldn't be anxious. This is so aggressive towards yourself, isn't it? You would not talk with your best friend sometimes the way you talk in your head. We would not even just imagine, someone plugging in a speaker into your head. And so everybody in the entire world can hear your thoughts on speaker. As you go into a restaurant, you sit down judging other people, how they look like, and why they're so noisy over there, this is so loud, these kind of things, our kind of critical mindset, the critical thoughts about other people. Why are they like this? Why are they like that? I should be more, he's looking at me, should probably sit a bit more upright. These kind of things, these kind of ideas that constantly come in our head, if some other people would hear your thoughts, your most private thoughts all the time, how would you feel? Would it be something you would like to display? Some people are worried, this is a great spiritual teacher. I wonder if he can read my thoughts. Yeah, but are your thoughts worth reading? How are your thoughts like if you look at your thoughts? Is it a beautiful piece of art? Is it inspiring? Or is it just chaotic? In my case, it's just chaotic. I look at my thoughts and it's just random stuff. It's crazy. So, what to do? Accept, open up, allow. And it will all become still. And in that stillness, there is healing. There's an end of suffering, end of problems. And this stillness is also one of the best guides you can find in life. You need to make a decision or something like this. You listen to that stillness. It will give you just the right answer. Most of the answers or decisions you need to make in life, anyways, you know already. You know even before you need to make the decision. So this is something inside of you that you can trust. Your mindfulness, your silence, and your ability to watch with warmth and kindness yourself and others. It doesn't take more to deal with kindness. In my opinion, this is 3 things that are enough. Mindfulness, acceptance, and warmth. These 3. Mindfulness makes you wake up in the train. Acceptance pulls the brake. And warmth helps you to leave the train. Warmth, in fact, means because of your mindfulness, the train doesn't have to crash. You don't have to experience the problems of anxiety, the results of anxiety. That's very kind. You're healing yourself. You make your life a bit better. Life of those around you is getting a bit better also through this. Okay? So I think this is good enough for today. Are there any questions?